How do you get started investing with just $200 a month? I'm going to tell you what I would do if I were starting out with investing with just $200 a month, knowing what I know now, years after I got started investing. I wish I knew this stuff way back when I first got started, but I'm going to share with you the tips, tricks, the ways that I invest, the way I diversify to help you get started. All right, welcome back. My name's Ethan. One of the things I like to do in my videos is to help educate people financially when it comes to wealth preservation, investing, finance, things like that. We just aren't taught in school. I think it's so important. Today, I want to talk about how to get started investing for the future with just $200 a month to put in towards an investment. If you've got $200 a month, it's a great place to start. I know you might have this dream and goal of getting up to $1 million, and $200 a month doesn't seem like a whole lot, but I got to tell you, the path to $1 million or whatever you've got in mind that you want to reach is only achievable $1 at a time. So you put $200 in a month, you're going to get to your goals a lot faster than if you're only putting in 100 or if you're putting in zero. You're not going to get anywhere if you're putting in zero. So let's start with $200. It's a fairly low bar to get started, in my opinion. Most people, I think, are in a financial position where they can get an extra $200 a month or allocate $200 a month towards investments. If you don't feel like you can do that, I would urge you to take a look at your monthly expenses and trying to reduce those, or trying to increase your income in a way so that you can come up with at least $200 a month to invest. Now, when I first started investing, I didn't know what the heck I was doing in my 20s. I just checked the box, actually contribute to like a 401k through my employer. Had no idea how it worked underneath the hood. Honestly, most people don't, because we aren't taught about money in school, and it's it's a real shame because we all require money, and money is one of those things in life that just makes things more enjoyable in life. Everybody needs money, and you need money for when things go wrong. When you have a breakdown of your car or a medical issue that comes up, you need to understand money, you need to have money, so it's so important. I don't know why we're not taught about it. It seems like a conspiracy to me, but I talked enough about that before. But anyway, there's nothing we can do about that. The only thing we can do is teach ourselves about money and finances and investing. That's one of the things that I want to help people with my videos, my content that I put out. So I've learned a lot over the past 15, 20 years since I first started investing in things. And I know when I got started investing, I didn't want to limit myself to the stock market, especially after I saw that what happened in the great financial crisis of 07, 08. When most everybody lost a ton of money when the stock market crashed. And I did not want to go through that. I was like, holy shit, I do not want that stuff to happen to me. And so I was really cautious about the stock market. And it was at that point I started looking into what are called alternate investments or alternative assets. Sometimes they're called non-correlated assets. And when I first heard about those, I was like, what are those things? And how do I learn more about those? And it took me a while to find out information about different assets that are out there. There are a lot of different assets you can invest in beyond just the stock market. But I want to talk about just a few today that I would get started in investing in if I just started out with $200 a month. Knowing what I know now, if I had known that when I was in my 20s, I would have started doing it this way. But now that I know more, I'm going to share this with you guys. If you're just getting started, no matter your age, if you're just getting started, I think some helpful advice on how to do that, how to diversify with even just a small amount. So if I were getting started today, I would invest probably into 3 different asset classes. The first asset class is the stock market, and that's probably what you're already familiar with, right? I put some of the money into the stock market. I'd probably, probably put about 30 to 40% in the stock market. The rest, I would split between 2 asset classes. I would put some into real estate, and I would put some into cryptocurrency. There are other asset classes that I would start to branch out. Once I exceeded $200 a month, I'd probably move into some peer-to-peer lending and some precious metals. But I'd probably start out with real estate and cryptocurrency being the other 2 assets beside the stock market that I would invest in. So if I were starting with $200 a month, I would invest it that way: stock market, real estate, and cryptocurrency. And if you're not familiar with cryptocurrency, it's super easy to learn about. Basically, it's just a digital asset that I believe, and many other people believe, is really a huge future asset. Has a lot of potential in the future for facilitating e-commerce, facilitating monetary transactions. It's got a lot of potential value there. It also has a possibility of going to zero because it's a digital asset and it's fairly new. And so we don't know what's going to happen with it, but it's got a lot of possibilities for a pretty big return in the future, which is why I like it for new investors to put a little bit of money in. I sort of look at it when I do investments in cryptocurrency, like the money I put in there is sort of burn money. If everything goes to hell and it goes to zero, I'll still be okay. I won't be happy, but I'll still be okay. And I think that's the way you have to kind of look at cryptocurrency. So if I were starting out with $200 a month, I would probably allocate myself, I'd probably put about $20 a month, about 10% of that $200 into cryptocurrency. That's currently, where I'm at now with investing. I think my crypto investments probably run between 7 to 12% of my investments whenever I put it in there. Sometimes it changes over time, but it's usually within that range, like 7 to 12% of my total investments go into cryptocurrency at any given time. So 10% is a number I'm comfortable with. Now, as I mentioned, I know that can go to zero, but I have a higher risk tolerance than some people, and I'm okay with losing that. I'm not okay with losing. I wish it wouldn't happen, but I can deal with it because I don't think it's going to go to zero personally. I think it's going to perform fairly well in the future. So that's where I've put some of my bets, and that's why I invested some of it there. I would probably, so we got about 10% in cryptocurrency. So you got about 90% left to work with. I'd probably put 40% into real estate and 50% into stocks. So I sort of look at it that real estate is something that everybody understands. Everybody needs a place to live. Everybody needs an apartment if you're a renter. And real estate, the population keeps growing, right? So real estate is a good investment. And you don't need to go out and buy a house. You don't need to become a landlord to start investing in real estate. It's super easy. One of the sites that I like, if you're not familiar with it already, is called fundrise.com. And you can start out investing in Fundrise for a fairly small amount. It's either like $100 or $500. It's a low amount. So if it's if the minimum starting deposit is above what you have in any given month to invest, what you do is you save that money that you otherwise would have invested in real estate, and you save it for a couple months until you've met the minimum deposit requirements, and then you open an account with Fundrise if that's where you want to go through. Fundrise is super nice. They're very transparent about where your money is being invested. I really like their UI. I like the transparency they have. I like the communication from the team at Fundrise. I like the updates that you get every once in a while from the CEO. I really like that company. That's my preferred method of investing in real estate. If for the stock market, if I were to start all over again, I'd probably start out by just opening an account with M1 Finance. I like M1 Finance just because of the fact that I like their interface. I like the fact that dividends can be automatically reinvested into the portfolio. I'm primarily a dividend investor. If I knew what I know now way back when in my 20s, I would start out investing in dividend stocks, because my belief is that no matter what happens with the growth of the stock market or the declines in the stock market, you're always going to get dividends. Dividends may decrease a little bit if we hit recessionary periods or go into downturns, but they're always going to be there. And dividends grow over time. It's called the annual growth. And if you look at, you can find resources online. One of the guys I really like following for dividend stocks, by the way, is a guy called PPC Ian. And his channel is so useful. He's a dividend stock investor guy. He puts out a lot of brilliant videos. He does a lot of in-depth analysis on dividend stocks. I really love his channel. So if you're interested in dividend stocks, definitely check that out. I like dividend stocks because they provide a yield. They provide earnings to me on a regular basis. And I primarily invest for cash flow. And what that means is when I put money into investments, I'm not just hoping and betting that the price of whatever I'm invested in is going to increase over time. Generally, things do increase over time, but it's not a guarantee. And at the time that you want to go out and sell your stocks or whatever it is that you want, we might be in a recession, and the price of that stock might be in decline. So you never know what you're gonna be able to sell an asset for. But if that asset, while you hold it, while you own it, produces cash flow for you, hey, it's like you're getting a rent check every month or every quarter. However, frequent dividends or interest or yields are actually distributed to you in some fashion. So that's how I would get started with $200 a month. I would put, probably half of it into the stock market through M1 Finance, 50% of it. That's about $100 a month. And then I would put about 40% into Fundrise. So that's like $80 a month into Fundrise, and about $20 a month into cryptocurrency. And for cryptocurrency, I primarily use Coinbase to get started on that. I also use Gemini as well, but if you're just getting started with $200 a month or $20 a month in crypto, I would do it through Coinbase. And again, as I mentioned, if you don't have enough in any given 1 month to open an account or to make a minimum deposit anywhere, then don't worry about it. Just don't spend the money that you have, that you would normally have allocated towards that investment. Save it for the next month, and then you start to build it up, and you can make that next deposit, or you can open that account. That's how you do it. You just save the money you otherwise would have invested, so you can do it when the time is right. That's how I get started. As I mentioned, if you've got more money, there are a lot more things I would invest in. I would also invest in peer-to-peer lending for one thing, and I would put a little bit of money into precious metals as I started to get more disposable income that was available for investments. But anyway, that's the playbook that I would go by if I just started out with $200 a month in investing, real estate, stock market, and crypto. That's what I do. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful to you guys. And if you have any comments, please let me know. Any videos you'd like to see me do, please just leave a comment. I'll try to do the best I can. A lot of experts out there, and a lot of them know a heck of a lot more than I do, but I will do the best I possibly can to get content out for you guys that will be helpful to you in one way or another. So until I see you guys next time, I wish you all the best of luck in everything you're trying to get in life, all the love, all the dreams, all the passions, everything you want in life, financial or otherwise. I wish you guys all the best. So until I see you next time, take care, good luck, Godspeed.